Wonderful Tuesday morning, and it's good to welcome you to your one-stop breakfast program on MCL TV. Good morning, Abia. Ojoba is my name. This program comes every morning to inform, entertain, and educate you. I feel excited this morning. The reason is it's not easy to have the gift of another day, but God has done it for us, meaning that we have to be glad and rejoice in it. I don't know what the problem that faced you all through yesterday you went to bed with. But waking up to a new morning, a new day, should give you that courage, the strength to move on and know that God still loves you. So I welcome you officially to this very program, and I hope you're going to stay with us for the next 2 hours. You're not going to regret any bit of it. We are loaded as usual. Okay, let's do it the way we do it every morning. The Words on Marble. You know what the Words on Marble does? Each morning, it tells us things about us and how to react to life issues. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Jenna Wolfgang Van Gert. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. I did say we must move on as a people. It's not just for you to be willing for something. Yes, the will has to be there. But when the will is there, it pushes you. You need to do it. Okay. Somebody said that the right time to do something good is even now. That you know about the thing is not enough. But when you apply, the knowledge is not enough, somebody said, but the application. Okay. That is when you apply it to things that concerns you, that's when people will look at you as that wise person. Okay. I just hope you feel good about what we've given you this morning, because I feel excited. I told us when the program started, the moment I came on air, that I feel excited. It's not just that I feel excited being here. Yes, I'm excited being here, but I'm excited mostly that we are alive, strong, healthy, and how it gives us, that confidence. It makes me feel that there is God in heaven that supervises what happens here on earth. That was a marvel. I wanted to go through it. Ponder over it for the next few minutes. When I come back, it will be time for the news this morning. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Right, you're welcome back. It's still your one-stop breakfast program on MCL TV. Good morning. Abia, time for us to go through the news. Abia State Governor Kezit Baza has promised to offset all salaries owed teachers in the state before the end of the year. Governor Ikbazu stated this at an interactive session with pupils and students of public schools at the Michael Okbara Auditorium, Umuahia. Norokafo reports.
This is not the best of time for teachers in public schools. In fact, the morale of teachers, who are the pillars of the education sector, is at its lowest ebb owing to irregular payment of salaries. The teachers are owed between 2 to 6 months at both the primary and secondary school levels in the state. They have embarked on strikes severally to press home their grievances. The teachers may soon heave a sigh of relief if Governor Ikbazu makes good his promise of offsetting the backlog of salaries owed teachers before the end of the year.
I am not happy that some salaries are owed secondary school teachers. I think we are behind the payment of salary by 4 months. Now, it is not good to go even 1 month. That is why we have gradually decided that before the end of this year, we will manage to reduce indebtedness. My ambition is to make sure that by December, no teacher will be owed any salary. I am sure by August, all primary school teachers, their salaries would have been cleared.
The students from public secondary schools are from the 3 senatorial zones of the state. They are asking for the same thing: infrastructure development, laboratory equipment, adequate security and regular payment of teachers' salaries. For them, effective teaching and learning cannot take place in the absence of these things they are demanding for.
Since my school in high school, I've not seen any work done by the government in our school. Our classroom are so rough, when rain falls, the fog is us. The teachers are not teaching us well because they are not paid. I'm a student, but since I have entered and access to and choose the subject, I haven't practiced anything. Some of them feel so reluctant in coming to class and teach us.
Governor Ikpeazu, while responding to questions raised by the students, admitted that teachers play a very critical role in all-round development of the child and must be given priority attention. He regretted that teachers' salaries are not paid as and when due. He also granted waiver for the employment of 90 science teachers in secondary schools across the state. Governor Ikpeazu further revealed that the state government is collaborating with the Niger Delta Development Commission to ensure that every student in Abia State receives a tablet as part of efforts at making them ICT compliant.
Very soon, every student in Abia State will be a recipient of a tablet. It is powered and driven by NDDC.
He promised to regularly address the issues raised by the students. Nora Kafo, MCL News.
"15 of the 16 persons confirmed to have been infected by cholera in Bida local government area of Niger State have been confirmed dead. Beside the Bida General Hospital, where there are also reported cases, the Federal Medical Center in the town is reported to have more patients because of the presence of medical doctors attending to them. An official letter from the Bida local government area, signed by the Council Secretary Suleiman Sheshu for the chairman, dated June 18, 2018, had earlier notified the State Commissioner of Health. Immediately the outbreak was noticed on Sunday that the Bida General Hospital has no capacity to contain the outbreak, especially as a result of shortage of manpower. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Mustafa Jibril, while responding to the outbreak and death, told journalists that he would lead a team to assess the situation in order to avoid further spread and death. Meanwhile, Bida local government has embarked on sensitization of the people on the need to pour their water before drinking and wash their hands properly before eating. Two suspected robbers were caught over the weekend along Fox Road at Umule Junction, popularly known as Seven Deck, by officers of the Nigerian Legion. The suspected robbers were found with items such as television set, generator set, standing fan, camp mat, food items, and some kitchen utensils. Speaking on the incident, one of the suspected robbers said he took the items from his co-workers in return for money, while the other suspected robber says he knows nothing about the allegation, but only offered to assist in carrying the items as he was promised to be paid for his assistance.
So, when I am a shaman, so around the Parano 100,000. So, I have the young 30,000. Saying I will chora, every Buria, you child, some that I see any medo, go. So, not a whole there, maybe not way down, good me down. So, I'm not going to she fried, don't I go you, she fried it. Soon then all there, you should be quiet. Where we go, I have a new express. So, by an express, so, yeah, Panimola, Nga Kandele, Mawanya, Kamsi, so there's a Yahoo not a vision. So, Mayburia, go to she. So, Minaputa, Maho, Odama, doesn't number have one. Now, come to 3 years. That's anything, nothing that you are not on my own. Kasi yan nila din tanya, asam doon na ga tro mini. Na buta na 7 big. May buze may suze ya. Buda tem. Luto na 7 big iba. Do na 7 big. Ishi ba so. Nwa na so mo ni hu. Ako gande ya ba deuxième.
The owner of the items is yet to be identified at the time of filing this report. The suspected robbers were handed over to the army by men of the Nigerian Legion. The World Health Organization has urged Nigerians to always donate blood, thanking blood donors for saving lives, emphasizing the importance of blood donation. The plea was made as the World Health Organization marked the World Blood Donor Day, celebrated annually on 14th of June. MCI News sounded out medical practitioners who enlightened the public on the importance of blood donation. The theme for this year's event is "Be There for Someone, Save a Life." The report.
For their life-saving gifts of blood and to raise awareness on the need for regular blood donations to ensure the quality, safety and availability of blood and blood products for patients in need. The history of blood donation dates back to the 17th century, and blood donors save lives every day by giving themselves to save accident victims and those in need of transfusion. The event also marks the birthday anniversary of the father of transfusion medicine, Karl Landenstein, born on 14th of June 1868. Medical practitioners who spoke to MCL News highlight the importance of blood donation.
Donating blood to someone that is very ill is very, very important. I must tell you the truth. Every few seconds, someone somewhere in the world needs blood. Blood is very, very important. The patient may need blood, especially life-threatening diseases such as head injury, whereby there is so much bleeding in the brain, or so much bleeding in the body, whereby there is an accident case and the person has bled so much, which requires blood.
Blood donation is very important in the healthcare system because you can get into an emergency situation where somebody would need urgent blood transfusion, and if there is nobody donating that, then it hampers the process and it might jeopardize the person's life. So that is why it's very important that blood should be donated.
According to WHO, globally, over 7 million people are in need of blood or blood products. What are the challenges facing and inhibiting blood donation?
Except those who are ill, those who are HIV positive, those who have one kind of illness or the other, chronic illness that may bar them from donating blood. If you have malaria parasite now, and then your blood is collected and transferred to someone, automatically that person gets it.
There are some nominations that are against blood transfusion. I must say that most of them have not faced some of these life-threatening diseases. Because if you see someone that is bleeding profusely, there's nothing you can do. The person will need blood to survive immediately. Some people will say that if they donate blood, they may suffer from this or that disease, and because of that they will not die. It's not true. When you relieve yourself of so much amount of blood, the body will be light.
Regular blood donation reduces the risk of cancer, heart attack, increase lifespan, boosts immune system, and reduce weight. The theme for this year's event highlights the fundamental human value of altruism, kindness, underlining and sustaining voluntary unpaid blood donation. An appeal has gone out to well-meaning citizens to donate blood as it could save many lives. And just by donating 350 to 450 milligrams of blood, you can save up to 4 lives. Be there for someone. Donate blood today. Ruth Ohams, MCL News.
No fewer than 3,500 residents of Zamfara State have fled to neighboring villages in Katsina State, following reported cases of killings and other atrocities by suspected armed bandits and cattle rustlers. Governor Aminu Bello Mesare of Katsina State has since paid a visit on the displaced persons at the IDP camp, where he pledged government's assistance with them. Governor Mesare assured that government would assist them till security in the area improved for them to return home. He therefore called on relevant authorities to hasten the restoration of peace in the affected areas so that the displaced persons could go back home. An effort put in place to address the menace, Governor Mesare said work was ongoing to construct a road from the state to link with some of the troubled villages in Zamfara, adding that on completion it will help reduce some of security challenges experienced in the area. President Donald Trump vowed on Monday that the United States would not become a migrant camp as he faced mounting pressure to stop families being separated as a deterrent to illegal migration. About 2,000 children have been separated from their parents or guardians over 6 weeks, according to U.S. authorities, since the Trump administration announced that all migrants illegally crossing the Mexico border would be arrested, regardless of whether the adults were seeking asylum. Since children cannot be sent to facilities where their parents are held, they are separated from them. Trump has repeatedly said he wants families separated to end, but has refused to take responsibility for them, instead blaming Democrats, the minority party in Congress, whom he accuses of blocking legislation on the border issue of illegal immigration. He doubled down on that claim on Monday in a series of tweets and again in remarks before a meeting of the National Space Council. All right, that's the size of the news. We'll go for a break. When we come back, there will still be more news on newspaper review. Still stay with us. We'll be right back.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
What is that noise?
It is so busy quick.
What did they happen?
Yeah, now look at the case.
Okay, so the light.
Okay, so
time to rebuild Abia. I urge you to set aside our differences so that together we can join hands and build the Abia of our dreams. Remember that my word is my bond.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
All right, good to welcome you back. It's time for us to take a look at the papers. I have the Daily Sun as the first paper. Said nobody can stop Biafra agitation. At Owankwo, the story is on page 12. Nobody can stop Biafra agitation. Go to page 12 and read up this very story. All right, moving down. As global fears of terrorism group ISIS rises, federal government orders security beef up at airports. Our story is on page 6. Federal government to shut borders over rice smuggling. According to the minister, the story is on page 8. Wike swears in 23 elected local government chairman. Rivers APC faction vows to submit delegate list for convention. Story is on page 39. Buhari calls NPDP's bluff, rules out further meetings. Story is on page 6. And the picture element beside this story headlines is that Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State acknowledging chairs during Thanksgiving Mass for his re-election at Oba Udukeleni Udeni local government area yesterday. I will go to the back page of the paper this morning and we'll meet Ray Ekbo, the dub check. That's on page 47. Ray Ekbo, the dub check. NFF to mobilize 1,500 Nigerians for Iceland clash. I find this story on page 46. Levi Obijofor insight. Okorocha mocked within and outside his party. Okorocha mocked within and outside his party. And there you have the face of the Imo State Governor Rogers Okorocha. Right, the next article you read as you move down is Universities of Moral Transgressions. That's a follow-up on that, Universities of Moral Transgressions. Citizen Joe this morning said, we will beat Iceland, Argentina to qualify. Coming from our coach, Raw. That's a good one, Raws. That's a good one, Raws. Okay, we will beat Iceland and Argentina to qualify. We just hope they will make good the promise. Even if they beat Iceland and able to get draw, or beat Argentina and able to get draw with Iceland, whichever way they make it, all we need is 4 points or 6 points to make us qualify from this very group. All right, that does it. Daily Sun. The next paper is The Nation. Ayade South Africans in Agriculture Collaboration. Ayade and South Africans in agriculture collaboration. That's on page 41. Right, on page 5, you read this story: 3 soldiers killed in shootout with pirates. Go to page 4 and find out about rice smuggling. Federal government to shut land borders. It says we will redeem our image against Iceland. That's the sports news. A follow up on what we saw of the Super Eagles coach who said we will beat Iceland and Argentina to qualify. But here he says we will redeem our image against Iceland. Go to page 45 and read up the story. Wike swears in Rivers local government chairman is on page 4. Alright, moving down, we meet Ekiti 2018. Osibanjo, Tinubu, Oyegun, others for rally today. 563,051 PVCs are collected in Ekiti, says INEC. Article to APC, be ready to accept defeat. Well, these are many more to find on page 43. And the picture element under this story headline has solidarity. Iceland players demonstrate support for recuperating Nigerian keeper KL Ikeme ahead of their tie against the Super Eagles on Friday. It is yesterday, and you see this cover of Ikeme. And of course, one of the jerseys, especially the number 1, you see it written Ikeme. They have given this very solidarity. Well, we just hope that this solidarity will be turned into some other things, say maybe the approach to the game, and allow Nigeria win it in still in solidarity. It is very young man, Ikeme. If it's a mind game they are playing, well, the players should better watch out. Maybe celebrate and welcome this their kind gesture after the match with them. Buhari rules out talks with aggrieved NPDP leaders. President's men strategize. 42 posts up for grab at APC convention. It says some of the issues that they've brought up, the NPDP says, should zoning be retained or dumped in election of officials? Should there be total overhaul of the National Working Committee? How to accommodate the NPDP caucus to stave off defection? Need to have a national working committee which can make Buhari's re-election possible. Suitable and acceptable candidates for 8 key positions, averting a plot to disqualify some key contestants. All right, there's so much for you to read up if you pick a copy of the National Daily and find out how Buhari rules out talks with aggrieved NPDP leaders. Reports: Islamic State sneaks jihadis into Nigeria. Islamic State sneaks jihadis into Nigeria. All right, the back page of the paper we meet today in the Nation. Here at once is the supreme irony of it all. A foremost constitutional scholar treating the corrective, albeit largely incoherent acts of an elected sovereign as inferior, if not subordinate to a military degree, procured under the cover of darkness to subvert the will of the Nigerian people. Signing, Oni. Right, going down to Olatunji Dare at home, abroad. How much is a tooth worth? How much is a tooth worth? Well, I'm sure you know why. Looking at the set gum, it requires some tooths, and so you will ordinarily ask, what will it take to replace these ones? So just be careful what we take. One day we might also have to ask the same question. All right, moving down, we meet hardballs, a lawyer and his client. A lawyer and his client. And by the corner there, we meet Repos, who says $16 billion power probe. SI is not meant to witch hunt Obasanjo federal government. I beg Baba needs to be witch hunted. He's been witch hunting people since the Civil War. All right, that's it. Pick a copy of the Nation and read up the stories yourself. The next is the New Telegraph, but definitely not the least, though the last. Okay, federal government to shut border over rice smuggling. Buhari signs 9.12 trillion naira 2018 budget tomorrow. The story is on page 5. 1,500 Nigerians in Italian prison, says Envoy. Story is on page 3. As ISIS sneaking fighters into Nigeria from Syria. That's the report. You find it on page 3. Veto to buy Petrobras, $2.5 billion Nigeria's oil assets. The story is on page 5. Dr. Slums dies on duty in Kogi. Go to page 9 and read up the story. APC governors move against National Working Committee members. Sponsor allies to unseat incumbent officers. Party leaders to submit unity list on Friday. And then panel disqualifies aspirants over age and education. The story is on page 2. Ogbe, how Buhari jailed me, Ekwueme and Ojukwu. How Buhari jailed me, Ekwueme and Ojukwu says, I have got wind of coup 2 days before soldiers struck. By the picture element we have here from left to right, national leader of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, former Ogun State Governor Otumba Gbenga Daniel, and former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar at the Akure Airport yesterday. And going down, we meet this story: cholera outbreak kills 16 in Kebbi and Niger. UN, over 200 women, children killed in Northeast. This story you find on page 2 and 8. 2 months of stress damages a man's fertility. 2 months of stress damages a man's fertility. Find this health story on page 6. Quickly to the back page of the New Telegraph, and we find on Marble, I am in politics because of the conflict between good and evil, and I believe that in the end, good will triumph. Margaret Thatcher. Because I'm sure you remember this lady, they call her the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher. Her own philosophy said, I am in politics because of the conflict between good and evil, and I believe that in the end, good will triumph. All right, shift our attention to page 37, where we meet this sports story. Keynes double sinks Tunisia. Keynes double sinks Tunisia. All right, moving down, we meet Blood and the Nigerian Nation, Stomach Democracy, coming from Kasim Afegbua. And you have the face of Yare here. And let me read out a bit of this very article. It says, if the governor of a state could be so frustrated as to resign to fate, then the people of the state have become utterly hopeless. It's too deep a statement, and we know is what is playing out when he comes out to say, I resign, I'm no more in charge of security. And the question is, who is in charge? When you're the chief security officer, who are you given the task of securing your state to? It is what you swore to do. You have to live up to it. All right, just the tip of the iceberg. I expect you to visit your vendor and pick any of the national dailies. We'll go for a break. When we come back, the program will continue with the discussion segment. Enjoy this documentary. We'll be right back.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
For inquiries and booking, contact Address Hotel and Suites at number 18 Opobo Road, Obo Hill, Aba. Telephone 081 000 00895 or 081 000 00896. Address, the pride of hospitality and tourism.
Have you heard of Prescal Gold and Heaven Options Limited? Prescal is a home of the red image right here in Abia. Why go to Lagos or Port Harcourt for your direct image jobs? Come to Prescal Gold and Heaven Options, located at number 145 Azikwe Road, Abia, for perfect cover page, journals, magazines, brochures, and flyers. We also offer printing services in digital flex and billboard, window graphics, posters, stickers, gift transfers, ID cards, complimentary cards, monogram, and car branding. Heaven Options offer you entertainment services like event management, ambulance services with well-dignified undertakers. We can also boast of 3 months ordinary program in computer training, 6 months certificate in computer training, and 1 year advanced certificate in computer training. Why not visit Prescott and experience that quality jobs? For inquiries, call 080-3322-6115, 070-4024-7196, 070-8469-8165.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Abisandwan. Hey Mandon. Hayi ufuna ukubona. Cha Mandondo sithi asifike lapha.
Yalwa.
Yalwa impi.
Hawu. Cha siyahlukumezeka khonto. Siyahlukumezeka. Hawu abalungu abafuna ukuba basuke basinike indawo. Sokwenza njani soshona mase sisuka lapha. Asilungisela usubayo. Akushongo kahlale asicindazele na. Imaphi kanti thina amalungelo ngoba kwathiwa umuntu unamalungelo. Hayi imaphi ka wethu.
Hey.
Hey.
I've seen that Amakosi are selling land to business people, mining companies, giving land to foreigners to build malls. We are trying to show not only the chief, even the king, that we are the landowners here. We are going to challenge it. Our land right, sometimes it is not written properly in the law, but we know that traditionally we have a land right. We know that. This is my land.
Shuthi njoba sihamba lapha nje ngiyonikombisa ithuna lika baba wami. Wakubaba washo amazwi wathi kunethemba lokuthi ngoba yena sezokufa ngizoqhubeka ngizabalazela ukuthi lingambiki ithuna lakhe. Kusho ukuthi ngamanye amazwi imayini ingangeni lapha bese eyaphazanyiswa lapha azela lakho. Ithuna lakhe ubaba wami leli. Lokho kunginikeza amandla emzabalazweni. omunye umholi wabantu basemakhaya abacindezelwe nabantu abangayitholi intuthuko noma abayithola kanzima. Ngakho-ke kungumsebenzi wami lo uhambe ngibagqugquzela abantu ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi balwele amalungelo abo. Lapha emakhasaneni njengoba umlando wakho ukhomba ukuthi iningi labantu abakhela basuswa emaplazini amabhunu ngale base bezobekwa lapha-ke ey'ndaweni ekwakuthathwa ngokuthi zimbi kakhulu. Ngesikhathi-ke sikahulumeni sekungena uhulumeni wentando yeningi kwase kuthiwa bafaka ama-claim-ke base beyakwenza lokho ngo-1998. Kodwa-ke kuze kube manje abakawutholi umhlaba wabo. Sekuthi-ke manje 2011 sekubonakala sekufika abantu bemba, abantu bemayini. Kwase kuba nalokho-ke kubantu ngoba kungakhulunyiwe nabo base bebona abantu ukuthi uma sekumbiwa kanje kwenzakalani, base betshelwa-ke omunye walabo babemba singathi ama-geologist babizwa kanjalo wathi hayi kunomcebo lapha phansi mina nonke nizosuswa.
I'm Stayeni. I'm a researcher at the Land and Accountability Research Center. We work with communities like Mavusos. We look at whether the law and constitution are being properly applied and help communities enforce their rights where we can. So we are here today to talk about the problems they face with the plan to start mining iron in this area. Nazi futhi lezi imbuzi. Sanibona. Look. Hamba kanjani?
Ephile.
Hayi, hamba kahle. Umoshiye nakhona njengala.
Imoshe kakhulu ke khona.
Yeah, kwafika ifuyo nani.
Abia prospector kodwa useyiqedile.
Hey! A company called Jindal Mining has been prospecting in the area of Makasaneni. They plan to develop an open-cast iron ore mine. Nobody told the community before prospecting started. They just woke up one day to find mining activity on their land.
Benza umonakalo le mine le iza nomonakalo kunokuthi ize nokulunga. Futhi iza nokungakhulumi nabantu abakhile endaweni nokungabahlonipha abanye abantu. Akekho umunye umuntu okufuneka yazi icabanga sengathi yonke indawo yenkosi. Nalapha kwaZulu yafika khona bamba eduzane kwamathuna khona. Ngaphandle ukukhuluma nabantu. Umphakathi wawusuyimisa ke. Amathuna lawa nje uma nibheka nje nibona sabe sisiphoqa ukuthi ayakhe loludonga lolu uze kuvimba ukudilika ngomonakala abasibe udalile. Ya yoke le isite ababe drilla kuyona. Le ndawo le yonke le ndawo yalomuzi wakwaZulu ukuthi batholani kasazi.
20 years since adopting the new constitution, there is still no law to secure tenure rights in communal areas. There is the Interim Protection of Informal Land Rights Act, which is also known as IPIRA, which says no one may be deprived of an informal right without their consent.
Nijanat. Siyaphila. Sasitha sikubone.
Most people don't even know it exists. So when mines want to come onto land in rural areas, they go to the traditional leaders, who usually say they have the right to say yes or no.
Indaba ukuthi bayahamba la ngabona nje imoto ifika zayingena zimba kwathiwa imayini la ihamba manje. Ngakwathatha ngazi ngizokwenzani. Angitshala kuyiklabishi, utamatisi, oanyanisi bami. Lamanzi la ayenzeka la egobhoza ehlala kwavele kwakugangatheka kwanje. Afika bolisa wonke ubhatata wami lapha ezantsi. Wabola waphela inkani. Shuthi ke ngama ngangakwazi ke uba ngikwazi ukuthi ngisebenze. bangazange beze bekhulume futhi nami kangathekile ngilapha akwenze kulutho amanzi lana ephuma phansi amhlophe ishona la akukho okunye abantu aba nezingane engenabazali ezila ekhaya ezabafana zo10 ezamantombazane zo4
ubani wayifaka ucingo lolo wena
ucingo lwafakwe emayini ifakela ukuthi kuphoseka inkomo la nenkomo iphuza lamanzi la aya nezimbuzi iphuza lamanzi zifa
ethi mina anti yabona lensimi isiyonakele nomphelo ngeke isaphinde ibe insimi sekuzindonga manje
hayi ngiphathekile lapha
uyona nto engicabanga ukuthi isasihlalise kabi kulezi insuku ngiyathanda malungu ukuthi sonke nje sikhulume ngokukhululeka ngesimo esibhekene naso la emakhasaneni ngodaba lwemayini noma eyenza ukuthi kube ngathi singabantu abaphikisana nentuthuko
ufika kwemayini lapha emakhasaneni ayifikanga kahle abantu babonakala sebeme emagumeni sekumi imoto engaziwa kwayilo wabuza komunye ukuthi lezi moto zenzani sebehamba bemba emaxhaphozini sebehamba bemba emathuneni abantu bemba abantu akukho thina basikhombise khona sebekutholile
asixoxiswa asitshelwa asazi lutho
sasuswa endaweni ezinhle zabazali bethu sashushumbisa sazobekwa la engwaduleni nakho ke sesithela lapha engwaduleni sekukuhle sesijwayele sekuyindawo yethu manje futhi sekuqhamuka imayini zizofuna ukuthi ukusisusa la zisishushumbise kusho ukuthi izogcina sesiphila bakithi bazalwane phezu kwesihlahla njengenyoni sindize emoyeni singenayo indawo esingeyethu
umuka ngapha ngemuva kwethu gcwele amaplaza belungu gcwele imoba gcwele amahlathi ogamdrini abantwana abagcina sebevesta sinalo ilungelo lokuklema imihlaba yethu esayiphucwa amabhuku umhlaba okwakwaZulu
thina ngoba nakwezinye indawo lapho sesihambe khona sivakashele ezinye indawo siyobuka ukuthi kuleyo ndawo la esifike khona umphakathi wakhona uphila kanjani siyathola ukuthi kwezinye indawo impilo kayikho ngenxa eyazi imayini manje na ke thina ke sasingakujabulela kanjani ukuthi mhlawumbe sivele sivume nje ngalolu cha ilungile hambani
ebese kudaleke iningi izifo engeke imayini sisize futhi kulezo zifo ezobe sezisiphethe
lapha siphila khona kulomhlaba wethu eMakasaneni njoba siphila khona nje yaka sikwazi ongaphansi kujuleni komhlaba emathunjini kodwa la siyaphila siphila impilo ngoba siyatshala konke sikuthola khona nemfuyo yethu iyakhululeka engithi ke njengoba silwa nje thina silwela umhlaba wethu amathuno obabamkhulu akhona nje obekhona nje siyolwela lelizwe siyozisife silwa mhlambe bokhululeka ngaleso sikhathi mathi sifile
asikusabi ukufa siyalala sivulile noma eminyango manje mabethi bazuza bezosibulala ngoba kuyokwazeka ukuthi safela ukuthi imayini asifune endaweni esakhe kuyo
asenayo enye indlela yokukhulumisana na yiphi indlela esizophuma ngoba sikukhombisa ukuthi sekuyaliwa
Hey! Walabo manje! Baba labo! Yapota lapho sukani!
wathi maliqala lolu daba abantu babuza ukuthi wena nduni uyazini yathi ayazi lutho base bebuza ukuthi akwenze kanjani izinto endaweni ukhona ungazi yathi yona ayi nama ngazi ukuthi ngeqiwe kanjani kusukela lapho induna yazi imbandakanya yaba kanye nabantu becela inkosi ukuthi ayizobachazela nomasipala inkosi yavele yafika yavuma ukuthi yona esayinile base bethi abantu usayine kanjani ungasangikhulume nathi naye sithi ayingenza iphutha
mama
sekuyinduna nje yona nduna endala le kuza zonke induna ekhona usephathe namakhosi amathathu
Nakole!
angithi uyazi ukuthi ummeli wethu lo madala
Ngibheke yena manje. Asekho mina ngimbhekile.
balelile inkampani le mayini ufuna nje imvume yokuthi abone ukuthi ibiza lapha izokumba nje yayuyitholile imvume ekhulumeni siyabonga manje
Siyabonga ke. Siyambonga uNkulunkulu onenzile ngathi anganihlenga uNkulunkulu nasendleleni ningaphazanyiswa lutho. Nibe ningikhumbule.
Yebo.
Hawu, ke lapho kule ndawo. phezulu uzufisa ukufa mose ubona izinto ezazikade ingekho ubona ukuthi ngabe ngcono ukuthi wahadlula emhlabeni.
In KwaZulu-Natal, most of the land is held by the Ingonyama Trust, which was set up during the dying days of apartheid. The Zulu King, King Goodwill Zwelithini, is the sole trustee of the Ingonyama Trust. He is also its main beneficiary. Mavuso's inquiries about who authorized the prospecting revealed that the local chief had given access to the land. The surface lease was signed by the Ingonyama Trust. So it appears that the Ingonyama Trust has entered into many of these agreements without consulting communities, and people are noticing.
While the mines play an important role in improving the quality of life of rural communities, this approach should not be just singling out a few individuals, but a community.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Ya, kodwa ngiyawuthanda umbuzo wakhe. Ngoba phela akalu namuntu ufuna ukuchazelwa nje.
Inkosi isuke ivuma ukuthi intuthuko ingeze endaweni ngokulandela umthetho. Abaningi benu akekho noyedwa wabathi kwingonyama trust sisacela nizosichazela bathini ukukwenzekayo. Kodwa kunalokho siyasithole sesibheka kwathiwa sihlangene nenkosi sathengisa umhlaba.
Judge Ngwenya was not speaking the truth. In the meetings we had with the traditional council, we said we need Ingonyama Trust to be in those meetings. They didn't pitch up. That's a very bad thing. We have a land right, and they are holding that land on our behalf. That will be bad.
We almost didn't make it here because we had planned to arrive last Monday. And as we were getting ready, Mavuso contacted us and told us that an article has appeared in the newspaper Bayede saying that he is a spy for the Boers, and people were calling him and urging him to be cautious because there's a plan to kill him.
Bese ngifonelwa intatheli uMandla eBayede ikhuluma ukuthi mina ngihlangene namabhunu ngihambe ngene imizi nemizi angifuni umhlaba ubuye umhlaba oklenywa ingonyama ngiyaphikisana naye nasemakhasaneni ngifuna amakhasana kube indawo ezimele engenankosi ya yilo leli phepha ke elibhala ukuthi ngisemkhankasweni wokunyundela ingonyama trust ubuvukela isilo chithi isicelo saso sokubuyisa komhlaba ezinye zezinto nje ngiphatheka ababona ukuthi nabo ke ibona abagovuza umphakathi ukuthi uvukele mina hayi ukuthi mina ngigovuza umphakathi enjalo.
The journalist who wrote the story about Mavuso in Bayede is a member of the Zulu royal family. He and his brothers, or Abantwana as they are called, seem to have a financial stake in the development of the mine.
Abantwana are the royal family members, brothers of Inkosi or the chief. They came as people who were supporting the chief. They are the one who won the mine at Makasani. They thought of using violent tactics and they tried to dispose Induna. We said, no, that can't happen.
ngizoke nami ngibe nezinsukwana ngingekho ngoba nami ngidukisa umkhondo ngoba sebeyalo abantwana phela sebefuna ukusibulala manje ke nami sengidukisa umkhondo kodwa zoda nengiqhamuka sihlela imhlangano sixoxe sibone ukuthi siya indlela iya kanjani phambili bayakusongela undodakazi bayamsongela nami bayangisongela angazi ke mandondo noma impela iyona indlela lesesicabanga ukuhamba ngayo asisenayo enye nami sengibuye ngiphile ngokucasha ngoba kube ngathi yimi ngilale njengonogwaja
kwakunguNovember ka-2013 sathola umbiko la ngomunye owasihlebela kusho ukuthi umuntu owayethengiwe wayeyinkabi kuthiwa akazobulala la afuna umuzwa kwamavuso athola umavuso nowakwadubazana bese kuba udladla kube usipho dludla ilunga lekomiti elikhona nalo la endlini kube abantu besifazana abathathu ngathi ngifika edrobheni ngangifonela umavuso nodubazana bona laba abafuna phezulu
fonelwa ngitshelwa ukuthi kunabantu abangifunayo kuthiwa ziyinkabi-ke ama-hitman
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Right, good to have you back. That documentary will continue after Nasalati Abia by 11, and it's good to welcome you once again to our discussion segment of the One Stop Breakfast program on MCL TV. Good morning, Abia. Yesterday we dived into the state of the nation, looking at it from we were able to handle the health sector, the education sector, and security as well. There's so much when it concerns the nation, and the question most people have asked: for how long shall we continue, to read out to our leaders how we think that things should be done in this country? What are those things that ordinarily, should be in place so that a nation could move forward and faster too? Now, for a nation as Nigeria that has been so divided, how can we get it back on the right track? What are the things that we should do, especially now that Mr. President has signed into law the act, the Not Too Young to Run Act? Earlier on it was 40, but now it's 35. Are the youths ready for what have been given to them? Well, as somebody said, and we did tell you this morning, that Ray we said is a dub check, and I hope you know what dub check is. Check that can never be cashed. Well, as much as we will agree that there are such offenses goes with his own punishment. Now, what should we do? What should be the position of the young ones when it comes to the state of this very nation. All right, back in the studio this morning, also these two gentlemen that did it yesterday. It's my pleasure to bring Dr. Eze Adendo. Doctor, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, Abians.
Well, I will also have Comrade Ahuronye Darlington. It's good to have you again today.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank the two of you for making our time to be in this program again today, after what we had yesterday. Now, we're going to continue from where we stopped. Yesterday, we tried looking at the... I remember that we stopped at the health sector, where we were able to emphasize a whole lot the need for us to put in place those facilities that will enable our people to stop all these medical tourism abroad. Even Mr. President, because it's so unfortunate that even at the Aso Rock, you cannot at Aso Rock get the best medical facility. Dr. Eze, for a nation like Nigeria, that when you go to the highest office, which is Aso Rock, the office of the president, you cannot be guaranteed of a full medical equipment that should take you through in case of emergency if you're not flown abroad.
Brother, that's an indication that even those powers to be in Aso Rock don't patronize those clinics in Aso Rock, because you can see what happened when the president's son had an accident. It was then that they realized that there was nothing in that clinic. But budgetary allocations have been given to that clinic for a very long time. Yet, no supervision. That is the problem we have in this country. People who are charged with the responsibility of supervising what is happening, they don't do that. Maybe, I don't know if it's an overstatement if I say that they get kickbacks. And that is why, because of the kickbacks they get, that's why they are not interested to know actually what happens downstream. So it is a very pathetic situation. It exposes our country, it exposes our nation to public ridicule, international ridicule.
International ridicule. There are things that should be in place when you talk of a nation, when you talk of a state.
There are basic things that
must be said. And I think the health sector is also one of that area that demands utmost attention. Now, Darlington, look at this picture we're trying to establish here, where we cannot boast of adequate medical facilities in this very nation, even at the height of the office of Mr. President. And that's what we call Aso Rock Clinic. You don't have what it takes to attend to people in case of emergency.
Well, I will attribute that to the level of corruption here in Nigeria and the negligence of the top political office holders here in the country, where they have failed to provide the citizens with the basic amenities needed here in the country. It is a public ridicule, if I must borrow the word of Dr. Zadendo, that a country such like Nigeria is going outside abroad to have the best medical practice. You see where the president of the country will go outside to seek for medical attention, where we have the wherewithal to establish such thing here in Nigeria. It is laughable.
Laughable. Somebody will embezzle 3 billion naira. Somebody will embezzle $20 million. We're still talking about $500 million in US to be repatriated. That is linked to Abacha family. We have so much money stolen from this very nation, and yet this money is taken from us. We cannot boast of medical facility. We cannot boast of quality hospitals where or medical complexes where these people can, or where Nigerians can be treated. Doctors, is it supposed to just be looked at as a ridicule? Are Nigerians not supposed to be angered to a point where they want to come out and show their displeasure, either by way of demonstration or by way of whatever you can call it? Because there's this very telling man that when you touch it, when you hit it, it revolts. Now, have we not allowed ourselves to be so, marched on for too long? When we consider all that has happened in this nation and the state of our nation.
Thank you so much. The issue of recovering of loot, I can liken it to a story where two men went to go and steal yam. One is shot, one is tall. And then after stealing the yam, the tall one told the short one to carry it in the basket. And as they were going, the tall one was still dipping his hand inside the stolen yam from the basket to steal more. That is actually what is happening. Because if you look at a situation whereby all these monies that we have been told that have been recovered, these monies are enough to change the lives of Nigerians. These monies are enough to better our medical condition. But it is not, what we hear is different from what we see. And then remember that this government now is highly insensitive to killings. This government is highly insensitive to loss of life. This government is highly insensitive to sanctity and sacredness of life. And because of that, people are somehow afraid. People don't want to go to the streets because once you go to the street, the soldiers are there, and when they kill you, nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nobody will be held responsible. Nobody will be probed. Nobody will be prosecuted. So at the end of the day, an average Nigerian who has a large family will say, let me stay in my house. Let me take care of my children.
But are we really taking care of the children? Are we really taking care of ourselves? Now, gentlemen, David, Fela said, so many years ago, Fela sang a song. The same song that somehow Eze is trying to repeat by his own statement. Everybody's afraid. You want to let me go home and take care of my family. And Fela asked, which family? The one that ordinarily will still die if nothing is done. Now, the attitude of taking care of ourselves against correcting the ills of the society, where has it landed us?
Well, like I always say, it is because of the government unseriousness to tackle these issues. You see, I even got an information that the person that has the highest pharmaceutical industry in faraway South Africa is a Nigerian, and he was a public office holder. Now you begin to imagine, where did he get such huge amount of money to build such a pharmaceutical industry in faraway South Africa? Now, check the multiplier effect of what he had just done there. He's going to create a lot of jobs for the people of South Africa. He's going to be making money. He will also be paying the South African government while his own people are dying here. So whenever he has something to, maybe he's having one body ailment or the other, he will want to go to South Africa for treatment, while ordinary Nigerians are here suffering and dying. So it is the attitude of the government. I think the citizens of this nation should rise up to the challenge.
Rising up to the challenge is on the citizens. Now, there's a phrase we use a lot, and sometimes I get uncomfortable with it. Our political leaders. Don't you think that is also destroying us? What is politics? Is politics business? No. Now, why not? Why can't we just say our leaders? Now, at various levels, we have leaders at various levels, and sometimes when these people also see themselves as political leaders, they see themselves as people that will come and go. That politics is something that is just for every 4 years, and so that mentality enters into our leader, and they misbehave. But what of leaders? When we talk about leaders, wherever you are, that position makes you a leader. Even if you're going to be there for a day or two, or a week, a month, a year, you should be able to do something that that will live after you. Now, don't you think that is also affecting the psyche of our people? How do we handle it? At what point should our leaders begin to see themselves as leaders, not political leaders? I guess we will be able to also differentiate, bring out the difference between political leaders and leaders. Please.
Well, the psyche of our people is something that will take a very long time for it to change, because somehow it has entered into our genes. Our society is not even helping matters at all. Our society likes celebrating affluence, irrespective of how that money was amassed. If you occupy any political position, if you occupy any leadership position, if you occupy any position at all, and you are unable to bring something back home, generally they will look at you as a failure. Sometimes we go to the extent of saying, look at him. He was even TC chairman for 6 months. He couldn't even build a house. Look at the other man from Zone B. He was TC chairman for almost for 3 months. And you go to his house, he has changed the edifice. So you see, that mentality is now sown into anybody aspiring into any political office. First of all, let me change myself.
In other words, well, you are agreeing to the idea that the attachment of political to that leader, makes it. It doesn't make sense.
It is not even only the attachment of political to the leader. Generally, once you occupy, in the market, if you go to the market now, for instance, if you go to Ariare now, or cemetery, you go there and you are made the chairman of Ariare. People will expect you to have a shop in your life. People will expect you to overnight amass wealth. That is the expectation of people.
Are we not saying the same thing? The attachment of this political now makes you, irresponsible.
It has gone beyond. It has gone beyond that. Whether political, that's the point I want you to understand. It has gone beyond just the mere attachment of political to it. Any position one now finds himself, he likes to grab that position, get whatever, irrespective. If it is possible, there is a type of parasite we call facultative parasite. We have 2 types of parasites. We have obligate parasites, we have facultative parasites. Facultative parasites are those ones that will feed on the host while the host is still alive. We'll keep on feeding on the host, even when the host dies. We'll keep on feeding on the remains of the host. That's actually what happens. Our leaders have now cultivated the habit of feasting on us while we are alive, and then succeed in killing us. After killing us, they will keep on feasting on our remains until we are no more.
What you're giving is example. You're trying to look at where people dies and we don't really give respect to them, but we use them to play politics.
Now, someone said that politics is a game of interest, but my own definition is that the reason behind that interest forms the real politics. The reason behind that interest is the pure definition of politics. Now, we live in an environment where people look at leadership as a means of acquiring or even flaunting ill-gotten wealth at the detriment of the people they seek to govern or represent. And when you look at it critically, you see that our society harbors such people. Our society respects such people. But when you go there and you decide to give the people exactly what they need, not attaching any selfish thing to yourself, and you live a normal life, people will see you as a fool. People will see you as an idiot that saw an opportunity of making it.
Will everybody see you that way, or just a
majority will see you that way? Just a microscopic few, very few, just few will not see you that way.
Are you saying that our nation at the moment is no more, does not place value on attitude or on good behaviors? Yes. All we now want is money all the way. Is that what you guys are saying?
Let me give it.
Are we coming to that very point where we no more respect morals anymore?
Even in the church. Now, if you
that one is really an area that we should discuss on another day, because that area is not helping matters in any way.
I'm telling you.
In any way, in any form. Let me give you an instance of what I was saying about faculty parasites. See, Abia died many years ago. In short, I believe he was killed. I believe that. And up till now, it is now that Buhari now saw the only way to appease the West is to try to immortalize Abiola. How can you immortalize Abiola when you are not out to find out, to dig out how he was killed? You are not keen on digging out how Kinurat, his wife, was murdered. You don't want to investigate those places are no-go areas. Okay, the issue of morals now. Look at what's it called? This is what they did in South Africa.
Okay, Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at how much the winner.
Okay.
Have you placed
Big Brother?
Big Brother Nigeria. Yes. Big Brother Nigeria. Look at the millions attached to it. And then, if you come to education, do you attach such millions to competitions, quiz competitions, essay competitions? Do you attach such? Of course, nothing like that happens. It's only on few occasions that some Nigerians, for instance, I read some time ago where a passenger forgot some large sums of money in a taxi, and the taxi driver was able to, he was rewarded on few occasions. These people are people that should be celebrated. In which country? Is it South Africa? Where? Not South Africa. Is it Korea? Where this Nigerian saw a building that was on fire. There was a little girl at the balcony. He used his hand and climbed.
No, that was in France.
Yeah, in France. And immediately he was able to do that. I think he was immediately given.
He was honored by the country's president and also promised,
he was not employment at the first service. That is employment. That is the way to celebrate excellence. And when you see all these things, it will now spur the youth more. It will not spur the people more. You see, this is small.
I think we also got it wrong when we started, when we changed that nomenclature from Good Samaritan to Good Nigerian, and we actually started seeing the good side of Nigeria. I remember that those days, if you do any good deed, they will call you a good Samaritan. But we felt it was an insult on our nation that Nigerians will be called good Samaritans because of what happened in the Bible, or maybe also playing the religious game and isolating that one to bring up something we feel will be okay, and we became good Nigerians. But ever since we left that very track, I don't think Nigerians have been as good as we used to be. All right, now that's just on a light note, but gentlemen, let's be serious with what we're looking at today. A nation of about 200 million persons, a nation that has a whole lot of intelligent people. And when we talk about intellectual properties, we find it in abundance in Nigeria. And yet, we cannot accommodate our own. Should we even leave the health sector, where we know that so much is still, nothing is happening there, given what is happening? Yes, you did say yesterday that government should also stop anybody that is practicing, any public servant from having a private hospital. And then from also making sure that the education sector, all our leaders have their children here with us. Should we even step aside from that? Years after, as a nation, as a people, in the area of infrastructure, road infrastructure, we still see where millions have voted for roads and yet nothing is done. The next leaders that will come will continue to talk about road. It's only in Nigeria that when we talk about development, road is also counted. Now, gentlemen, mismanagement of funds, misappropriation of funds, anyhow you want to look at it, also comes with some of these things that are said to have been done but not done. Are we not supposed to, as a nation, as a people, begin to look at those areas and actually know who our leaders are?
Okay, now, this boils down to that same particular case of corruption I'm talking about. Corruption has eaten deep into our social fabric, that even the least Nigerian, even the downtrodden, are corrupt. We all have corrupt mindsets. That's just the truth. Now, we live in a country where a particular amount is voted for a particular road. Maybe if the governor or the president or whoever that is in charge of that particular road decides to give it out to a contractor, he will also attach conditions to that contract. Maybe telling the contractor to bring back a particular percentage of that particular amount that was being voted for the contract. Now, when you look at it this way, the contractor will have no option than to work with the little amount that he was given, give back to the owner of the contract the particular amount he said he should be given. And he goes back and brings inferior materials for the road. Now you look at a road that was built 3 years ago. It is, when you go there in the next 2-3 years,
it's gone.
It's gone. You begin to imagine, was this not the particular road that was voted?
That if it will stay 3 years.
Yes. So that is corruption in high places.
Now, corruption in this very nation is one, as a lot of people said, we cannot get over. In fact, somebody said it emphatically the other time that it's like corruption is now what rules this nation. That from what he has also said, to the least of the society, corruption is in our system. Ordinarily, if you're going to bring up a solution to the issue of corruption as a nation, from which angle will they approach it?
The truth is that I have stopped talking about corruption. I have stopped talking about corruption.
Why?
Because when we talk about corruption without having a sort of effective way of curtailing corruption, we end up a sort of making corruption to be so wide with little effect on us. Let me explain what I'm saying. We overblow corruption to a proportion that it's now seen as a monster that cannot be controlled, while we are the problem. We are the problem. Let me give you an instance about the road they talked about. Until our leaders, let me borrow your word, let me remove the political now.
Please do.
Until our leaders stop using contracts as a way of appeasing their political cronies and allies, that is the time that they will sit up and do effective supervision. I like what our governor is doing in the United States. Most often, he comes to these project sites unannounced to have on-the-point assessment of what is actually going on. But in a situation whereby you award contracts to appease your political allies and cronies, you have little or no say in that. And then, any contract that is being awarded, I think that the best thing to be done is this. If you're going to buy something from a shop, for instance, an electronic, they'll give you a warranty. The contractors should give Nigerians warranty of 5 to 10 years. Within 5 to 10 years, this road I have built, nothing will happen to it. If anything happens to it, I'm in charge of maintenance. If I don't maintain, prosecute.
I think this is where you got it right. Maintenance. I had the opportunity of discussing with a contractor sometime when I traveled, and he did say that what they do is not just give contract; they have conditions. You also have maintenance attached to that very contract. Now, maybe you built a road. You'll be told to manage that road for like 5-10 years. Now, the money will also be there. That month in, month out, year in, year out, it's your duty to monitor that road. Whatever is giving way, you take care of it for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, even up to 10 years. That money is built in there, and it's when within the space of your contract, if anything happens, you are held responsible. And you see them always there working because they wouldn't want anything to happen. But here, is it that we are afraid to attach all these things to it, or the political aspect of it, which you said uncertainty of the office makes us not to go to the extent of adding some of this, clause to or clauses to the contract.
Now, when a contractor submits his bill of quantity, the person or the governor that will give the contract to his company will look at how much is involved in that bill of quantity. Now, because of the fact that he also is interested in that particular contract and how much is being awarded, he will say, okay, let's strike a deal. Build this road with 50% of what we've written here, while you return the remaining 50 to me. Do you understand me? And the contractor will not have any option than to go ahead and execute the contract with inferior materials. Now, when he complains about this particular maintenance culture, the person might tell him not to worry, don't just do that yourself. Now, successive governments, the next government that will succeed that particular government will come in. I would also want to build a legacy project. You also want to work on that particular road. And by that time, that road will have been in a deplorable condition.
All right, how will our leaders be responsible to the people? At the moment, the leaders are not accountable to the people. They do things the way they want. Now, because if you voted a senator into an office or a House of Rep member, they are there to represent you. Yeah. And ordinarily, it's a known fact that they should report to you at the end of the day. But in Nigeria, it's not so. The moment somebody goes to Senate or goes to the House of Rep, that person becomes your Lord. Yes, of course, the person becomes everything. And so you go to that person to beg. The person doesn't come back to the constituency to say, this is what we have. This is how much the constituency have been given. This is what I've done with it. It's all yours. Give account to the people. How can we make our leaders to be accountable to us, to try to tell the people what they're doing, because that is where the mistake is, isn't it?
Yeah, these days we have a scorecard. This is one of the words that have been so much abused in this country. Scorecard. A scorecard, I think, is a form of report card. Mm-hmm. And that report card is issued by the examiner. But these days, you see, our politicians, they set exams for themselves, they mark the exams, and they issue themselves scorecard. And they now come to tell us, this is my scorecard, this is what I have done, this is what I have done, this is what I have done. Nobody sets exam for himself and fails. Nobody. Once you are told to set exam for yourself, you must go to the area you know too well. And these things are pseudo projects. These things are make-believe projects. These things are not true. You see a senator, a House of Rep member, a state House of member, assembly member, doesn't have a constituent office. Even if he has one, it's not functional, it's under lock and key. How do you relate with the people you say you are representing? You are not representing us. You are representing yourself. Once in a while, you don't go town hall meetings to get feelings from your people, to know the areas. Nothing. You are not close to the people. And once elections are closed now, let me tell you, immediately after the elections, when they win, in the next one you call them on phone. No way. But a year now, 6 months to the election, you see them, once you even call them, flash them, they have called back. How are you doing, my brother? Even if you like, put side dedication, they will come. Burials, they will come. They want to identify with you. What do they want? They want that your PVC. Yes. My own PVC, if you see where I kept it where I kept my PhD certificate. In short, that PVC, as it is now, is more important to me than my PhD certificate.
All right. Well,
because it is well secured than it.
Once you attain a position, we do everything to protect that position. All right. To show you how important PVC is, somebody had to give a check, and at the back of it, as he endorsed it, he said, "Pay with PVC." You understand that?
Yes.
Said, "Pay with PVC." Telling the bank, without PVC, don't pay. We need to get to that very point where we should make do with that. Even if you're going to buy anything, let it be your.
That's the best weapon I have. That's why I don't play with it.
All right, we'll have to go for this very break. When we come back, viewers, the line will now be open, and you'll be able to join us in this discussion. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
What is that noise?
It is so busy quick.
DJ back, DJ back, DJ back, DJ back. What did they happen?
Yeah, now look at the case.
Okay, so the
Okay, so.
Time to rebuild Abia. I urge you to set aside our differences so that together we can join hands and build the Abia of our dreams. Remember that my word is my bond.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
All right, you're welcome back, and it's still our discussion. We're still focused on the state of the nation. Right now, we've really done, we've dealt a lot with the health sector. We've tried to open the infrastructure on the roads. What we're doing, is the government doing enough? Call, tell us what you think of this very nation, where you think we should work on, things that ought to be done for this nation to move forward. We've established corruption. Of course, every day we keep talking about corruption, and the worst of it is that anybody born today will also hear the word corruption, and it becomes, it's more like that biblical saying, in iniquity we are conceived, even in iniquity our parents. If corruption is so much in this nation as we say it means every child born is a corrupt child, and you start learning corruption from little, because even the drugs you're being given, you're being administered, there's corruption in it. Those are at the antenatal homes, those in the hospitals, clinics, just name them. The way they go about it, do they still bring out this law that should be impacted on the children? Do parents still give birth to children with joy? Sometimes when you visit hospital, you realize that you're going to pay as much as 20, 30 or 40,000 in a private hospital for child delivery, whereas it should just be in the neighborhood of 1, 2, 3 or 4,000 naira. It shouldn't be more than that. Yes, I still want to commend some of the hospitals that are still very lenient when it comes to pregnant women and other areas. Now, as a nation, those basic facilities that should be in place that will guarantee a nation, do we have it? Now, gentlemen, there are things that you must see in a home before you can call it a home. Sure. They say that a home is where you have the father and the mother and the children. That's a home. A house is where you can have either the man or the woman alone. Is a house.
No, the house is a structure.
It's a house. It can even be empty, and it's a house. You see houses everywhere, but homes are made. I also believe that nations are built, they are made, and there are those things, the components that will be in place for it to be a nation. Do you think we're actually a nation, or we're just the people that are gathered in a place and where everybody's just surviving, not having access to those basic things that should make us a people and give us hope for tomorrow? Now, when you go to some countries, as you come into that country, you have life everywhere. You see people move the way a nation should move. But in Nigeria, on a daily basis, it's like we take 2 steps forward and we take 20 backwards. What is our problem?
Well, I must agree with the words of Awolowo when he described Nigeria as a mere geographical entity. You see, Nigeria is just antithetical to whatever thing a nation should be. Reason is because our attitude to nationhood is too bad, and it must be discouraged. And I think it is also the work of you people, the media practitioners, who should disabuse our minds on this particular issue. You see, you talked about hospital, you talked about our roads and the rest of them. Here in Nigeria, you will employ a medical expert to come and practice in a very dilapidated building, a structure we call hospital. They don't even have the equipment to run 1 or 2 tests there. They don't even have labs, well-equipped clinic. Now, when I was a child, there was this particular health center. Pregnant women were going often to deliver, But as things go by, I found out that that particular health center around my locality has gone moribund. It is now dilapidated. That building is now for lizards and all these reptiles. You see, so the government negligence to these particular structures is one of our major problems, and this has given birth to these traditional birth attendants that doesn't have the requisite skills to deliver, and it has increased the rate of child and maternal mortality rates. So that is a problem. So I wish our leaders, I wish the government can look inwards to look at things that will help the citizens.
Is there a way of restoring confidence on the people, bringing back confidence? The president just signed Not Too Young to Run bill the other day. I said we will also visit it and know if actually that is where the problem is. Now, is that the problem of leadership in this nation, or is there a way that confidence can be restored? Because it does appear that the people, Nigerians, are losing faith in this nation on daily basis because of activities of our politicians.
Who will restore the confidence?
That's why I asked the question. Is there a way it can be restored?
For me.
Or do you consider it a hopeless situation?
It's not a hopeless situation.
All right,
but it's not that I like so much. I've got my confidence back. Let me tell you something.
All right, hold on. Let's take this call. You will continue. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome to the program, sir.
Yes, my name is Chiemela.
All right, it's good to hear your voice again today, Chiemela. Good morning.
Yeah, why can't you and your guest for the wonderful program you're doing? I have requested this rally. I want you to one of these days do the state of Abia State. Can't you discuss the going on in Abia State? Let's talk about Abia State, government policies, economy, politics, and education. The right state of Abia State. I want one of these days. Bring people, let them talk about Abia. Every time we continue to discuss the nation.
Mr. Chiemela.
I will appreciate if you one of these days give your guest, a time, 1 hour, starting to discuss Abia.
All right, thank you very much, Chiemela. But you can still do that because it's part of our nation. Now, when we talk about the state of the nation, it covers all the states. We are saying we're trying to pick it from everywhere, every corner of this very nation. Now, if there's anything that is happening in Abia State that is of interest to the nation, bring it up. I mean, we all.
I want to ask what information are you in particular? What information can you give to us of what happened last weekend between the police and the army at Soma Junction? What exactly happened? Can we be informed of what happened? You learned that the governor has set up a panel to look into the issue. So far, what has said at Soma Junction last weekend?
Thank you very much, Chiemela. Thank you very much. God bless you for bringing up that. Gentlemen, I also want to agree with what Chiemela said, that the governor has set up a committee to investigate what actually happened. And I think it will not be proper for us to preempt anything on our part. So since the panel have already been set up, we should allow the panel to investigate and tell us. But it was very what should I use to qualify it? Each time security, the people meant to protect lives and properties, abuse themselves, because I call it abuse.
It's abuse.
Abuse themselves is a challenge on security.
Abuse of office.
Is a lot of challenge on this very group. Now, I find it even hard to discuss it, but the truth that it must be discussed. Since the governor have set up that panel, let's wait and see what is the outcome of that investigation. But let's take this call and we'll continue. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Good to hear your voice again today, sir. Good morning.
What is killing Nigeria? First of all, there is stone in your eye. You leave your own stone, remove another person's stone. Our president on behalf of the people who run the Abia, what did he himself? He didn't apologize for the one he did. So this is one of the abominations in Nigeria. So we are not honest ourselves. That is one thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do have a nice day. The president apologizing to Nigerians. And may I bring up this very issue here? Now, when we talk about the state of the nation, we're talking about the people. And who are the people? That is 6 states of this very nation, with Abuja there. So if anything is happening in one state, it's also affecting the other states. So what happens to all? An injury to one is an injury to all. Now,
I want to react to somehow to what the first caller said.
Chemila.
Of course, once a panel of inquiry has been set up, I think the panel will have to source memoranda from the public, and that's the role we can now play. But even apart from that, you can see the level of decay, psychological decay, temperamental decay among our security outfits. If they can engage themselves in a gun duel, then common, let me use the word common in quote, a common civilian, as they use the
Don't use the word common.
I put it in quotation.
I've had to quarrel with a whole lot of...
I am quoting them. That's why I said in quotation. I'm quoting them because they refer to us as common civilians. So in quotation, I'm putting that common in quotation. So you will now know that a common civilian doesn't have... You talked about revolution the other time. I said, we are all afraid because the people that have these guns, they have psychological problem. In short, their level of insanity is so high that they can just at will kill.
Start shooting people.
So
I think there should be evaluation, psychological evaluation.
But as much as that goes, when you look at all these security men, there's something should be topmost in your mind.
Yes, sir. It is quite unfortunate that the people that are charged with the responsibility of protecting our lives are now eliminating lives. Now, when you look at that gun battle that day, you see that even the military man was even running from one car to the other, where passengers were fully loaded, and there was sporadic gunshots that day. And we've seen cases where even a passenger in a particular vehicle gets injured by a stray bullet. Do you understand me? So are they not trying to put the lives of the citizens on risk?
As if we're at war time.
Yes.
When you see these people exchange battles, it becomes a
war. And anybody that dies there dies on his own.
That is the thing.
That's the problem.
Nobody is charged. That is where it gets me infuriated. Yes. Nobody is charged. Well, nobody is prosecuted.
Let's just hope that the governor will be able to, something will come out of this inquiry. But my worry here is, these men are not answerable to the governor. They answer to Joga that sends them, and the people that send them answers to the to the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So it leaves us with this very little room of anything meaningful coming out of it. But as much as we want to look at it from that very point, we still hope too that something comes out of this panel.
So,
gentlemen, before we leave, there's another one.
I was talking about confidence.
Oh yeah, confidence. Still in line with that confidence. Okay. I'm trying to come there. And when you talk about confidence, is it? How do we bring back this confidence? The governor last week when we had this interactive session with the students, or with secondary school students at Michael Okporo Auditorium, I had the opportunity of being there by God's grace, and I heard him say that paying of salaries, the teacher salaries and other workers is his priority, and he gave till December to do this. And workers for some time now have been so marginalized that it does appear that they don't have confidence in what they do again. Remember yesterday you tried bringing out the approach of teachers, to their work. Okay, now, is this also a way of returning? And if it is a way of bringing back confidence, is there other ways too that public office holders can also try to restore confidence on the people?
Well, like I wanted to say before the calls came in, I think the first step in this confidence issue is for us to restore our confidence by ourselves. Let us hope in and on ourselves. First of all, let us believe in our abilities. Let us be innovative. Let us be creative. The part of the brain called the forebrain, and if you come to the forebrain, we have what we call cerebrum. It's the center of reasoning, imagination, creativity, intelligence. So we should make use of our cerebrum and be creative. Once we are creative, we will try to attain self-sufficiency. And when we now attain that self-sufficiency, we've got our confidence back. Before we now start hoping. Most of the times, when our leaders, not political leaders,
yes. Thank you very much.
When our leaders make some promises, these promises are looked at as political promises. And you don't blame those who look at these promises as political promises, because these promises over time have been made over and over and over and over.
And yet nothing happens.
Nothing happens. But I believe, because our governor is a pragmatic governor, I believe. Our people call him a poem. I believe that, as he has said, from now, we should give him from now till December. I am very optimistic that he will do it.
Right.
And then, if he
now does that will restore the confidence.
And if that confidence is restored, it shouldn't end there. The problem we have, like I said yesterday, is lack of supervision. Lack of supervision. If this confidence is restored back by payment of all outstanding arrears, salaries, the teachers, the civil servants should be properly monitored to discharge their duties.
All right, now when you talk about confidence, I think it goes just beyond appearance. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
Now, it's a mindset, and I've had the opportunity, by God's grace, in a little while visiting some other countries, and I noticed that if there's one thing they do, they hold the name of that nation supreme. Yeah. Now, you can't enter into Britain, and a Briton will say, forget this nation. That would be the greatest lie. And you can't even go to the point of touching their flag, not to talk of rumpling it. But here, we even see the mad people on the street use our flag to, as rapper. What they hold sacred. Now, confidence is a mindset. And it does appear in Nigeria, we've gotten to that very point where we are so low in our mindset that we no more have confidence in this nation. Some people can call into the program and tell you, forget this nation. A nation that is your own. Now, that is it. We are looking at, we don't have time anymore. Maybe we'll continue tomorrow, but we are really looking at it from this very point of having a different breed of leaders that will have the ability to restore the dignity of this nation in our minds, not just by saying it, not by word of mouth. So that is just in 1 minute. What should be done, to actualize this?
Well, if we should stop sacrificing competence at the altar of partisan politics, that is the way forward. We have a lot of leaders that has good ideas. They have good ideas to drive this nation forward, but they are not given opportunity because they don't have, the financial muscle to run. And when you look at the expenses incurred in the cost of running an election in Nigeria, you will notice that it is also very impossible for a youth that has such beautiful ideas to emerge.
You know, in other words, as long as we continue to play money politics, we will never get the right people in the right positions.
Absolutely.
Because we have a lot of them, but they don't have the way to get in there. But I believe that soon, in fact, soonest, we're going to have a group of people that will come together and say, this person has bright ideas, or have what it takes to be a leader. Let's sponsor him to go in there. That can also happen. You had what you said. What is your last position? As restoring the confidence of Nigeria.
He who sponsors you dictates to you.
No, that's why I said group of people. That's why I said group of people. I didn't say fatherism. I mean, in a community, I remember years back, somebody in my community was approached by the community to come and be the chairman of the local government because they feel that this young man has what it takes.
Well, these things really occur in the course randomly, but I think we will get there.
All right.
I really want to commend the government, especially in the area of education curriculum, whereby they have made civic education a compulsory subject in secondary schools. And at that level, students are taught the norms, the values, morals. I wish these norms, morals, values will be translated and not become abstract.
All right. Thank you very much. Talking about knowledge. Dalente, you want to tell us something?
Yes. Secondly, it should go beyond payment of salaries. You see, the government can also devise a means of building the confidence in these people, the teachers. Give them incentives. Pay them 13th month. Like in Imo State, there was this thing that was running there during the time of Okorocha assumed office of the government. He paid the teachers 13th month. Do you understand me? So that alone was also boosting their confidence.
All right, thank you very much. We want to appeal to our leaders from this very platform to try whatever is going to take. You need to restore the confidence of the people. We don't need to destroy the nation. Of course, the destruction of the nation begins right in our minds. Once we decide not to do those things that will benefit the society, we are destroying the nation. But the confidence needs to be restored. The I can't thing shouldn't just be a phrase. It should be a belief. We should walk with it, run with it, even crawl with it. Thank you, Adendo, for finding time to come on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed Dalente.
My pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to have you people here. Thank you, our viewers, for also calling into this very discussion. We appreciate every one of you. Okay, we'll come back again tomorrow with another interesting topic. Until then, well, do what you have to do to make sure that Nigeria doesn't collapse. We'll go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for sports with Jenna. All right, stay with us.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Good morning, and it is good to have you on this segment. My name is Jonah Orji, and there are so many things rocking the board for sports, and like I know that you are really enjoying the ongoing 2018 2018 World Cup taking place in the home of Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. Just yesterday, the Super Eagles of Nigeria received morale booster ahead of their game against Iceland, following the Nigeria's poor performance during their opening Group D match against Croatia, where they lost 2-0. The federal government announced an increment in the winning bonus of the Super Eagles by $5,000. This is a 50% increase from the initial $10,000 the team was promised before the tournament kicked off in Russia on Thursday. Making the announcement of the winning bonus known, the sports minister Solomon Dalon said it is unfortunate that the team did not win, which would have served as a morale booster at the group stage, but stated that all hope is not lost. He called on Nigerians to continue to support the team. It's a good thing from the federal government to make sure that they increase the winning bonus that will, boost the morale of the Super Eagles of Nigeria against in their game against Iceland on Friday. The Super Eagles of Nigeria should also give their best come Friday. All right, let us now go over to other results of the matches that really took place yesterday, where Sweden defeated South Korea by 1-0. Belgium routed Panama 3-0 in that game. Romelu Lukaku recorded a brace. Tunisia, it was a bad day for them as they lost 1-2 to England. We are yet to witness any African team that will secure their first victory in the ongoing 2018 World Cup. All right, it will continue today as Colombia will file out against Japan. That will take place by 1 p.m. today. Poland we go head to head with another African side, Senegal. That one you have to wait till 4 p.m. for you to watch that particular encounter. While by 7 p.m. The host Russia will tackle Egypt, another African side. We'll see whether we'll see any African side that will claim their first victory today. All right, away from that, now we go over to the news that has to do with basketball, where plans have been concluded by the Nigeria Basketball Federation, NBBF, in conjunction with FIBA Africa, to hold a FIBA referees technical commissioners course in Nigeria immediately after the World Cup qualifiers to ensure that more referees and technical commissioners are captured. The training to be conducted by a certified instructor nominated by FIBA will hold in Lagos between 2nd to 4th July and Abuja between 5th to 7th July. NBBF President Engineer Musa Kida said organizing the International Referees and Technical Commissioners course is a direct fulfillment of the promise made at the last stakeholders meeting. So we say it's a good thing there for a course to be organized by referees so that they will be able to officiate the world of basketball, the game of basketball, in a way that they should be done. All right, this is where we'll call it quits on this segment. We'll come your way by tomorrow to bring you up to date about all that is happening in the world of sports. But for now, I hand you over to Ojoba.
Thank you very much, Jonah, for that sports update. We just hope we'll be able to see an African country win today. Alright, thank you, our viewers, for being part of the program. Hope you enjoyed every bit of it. We'll come your way again tomorrow, same time, same station. Unasala Choma Abia will come up right after now. Do have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
MCL, the word in your home.